Good afternoon. This is Jeffrey Meldon welcoming you to a great edition of Meldon Law and Friends. I'm the founder of Meldon Law, and I've been here in North Central Florida since 1970. I opened up my practice a year later in 1971, and we are very excited to have this podcast, Meldon Law and Friends, going now for close to 70 episodes weekly. And if any of you are listening and would like to participate in our podcast, please give us a call at Meldon Law. Our main number is 352-373-8000, and we'll be just ask for our marketing department, and they'll get you on the list for an interesting 30-minute conversation with me, and we'll just take it from there. Anyhow, Meldon Law is actively supporting the Florida Gators in all of their athletic events. We are the only official injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators, and we have access to tickets. So we score tickets for all the athletic events, and then we in turn give them away on our Facebook page, which is Meldon Law. So just go to Meldon Law Facebook page, and you will be able to see the fabulous giveaways. Let me just go through a few of them right now. Okay, well, today, of course, today is 222222, okay? February 22nd, 2022. So there's 5 deuces. So I think that beats most hands in poker. So we got 5 deuces today. And let's see, in baseball, we're playing Georgia State. We have 6 tickets for that. And then Aerosmith concerts coming up this weekend in Ocala. So check that out. We're giving away 2 tickets to the It's an Aerosmith tribute band, but they're terrific, and they're at the Riley Auditorium. If any of you have been there, it's just a terrific facility, and you'll really enjoy it. As a matter of fact, we have another tribute contest coming up for, let's see, I think it's the 22nd of March for Tom Petty concert. So go on our giveaway to check that out as well. Some of you know I was Tom Petty's first lawyer, and we love to support anything that Tom Petty's involved with, even though he's no longer with us on earth. He's there spiritually. So the Tom Petty concert's going to be at the World Equestrian Center, and that's going to be a huge show. So check us out. That one's going to be really big. I believe that's a Saturday night, the 19th of March, that's going to be. Anyhow, we have other ticket giveaways. They're all on the Meldon Law Facebook page. We're giving away tickets. Basketball. How about this one? We've got basketball versus Kentucky coming up March 5th. And March 5th is Meldon Law Day at the O-Dome in Gainesville when Kentucky comes to town. For those of you that have been to a Kentucky basketball game in Gainesville, you know it's a big deal. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be having our fan fest that day, and we're giving away 11,000 Meldon Law T-shirts, Gator T-shirts, to everyone who attends the game. So all you have to do is show up at the Florida-Kentucky game, and the Gator basketball team is hot tonight. We're playing Arkansas, and if we win tonight, that'll be 2 wins in a row after against top 25 teams, having beat number 2 Auburn last Saturday. Anyhow, there's a ton going on. I'm not going to go through all of it right now. However, I will say that we're always giving away great tickets. We want to share our tickets with everyone here. And please go to the Facebook page entitled Meldon Law. and you'll be able to check us out. Now, this show is on Facebook as well as on YouTube and on 37 audio platforms. It's called Meldon Law and Friends, so don't confuse it with Meldon Law. Just go to Meldon Law and Friends, and you'll be able to check us out as far as this podcast and all the others. Today we have a couple great guests. Our second guest is going to be Collin Austin, who's going to talk to us about everything about social media, digital marketing, and all kinds of exciting things that I love to talk about. However, our first guest is Meg Fanelli, and Meg is a Pilates guru. So we're gonna talk to Meg a little bit about Pilates and what Pilates is something that I am always fascinated with. I don't know if you know this, Meg, but I've been doing yoga every morning for 50 years.
Oh, wow. So something interesting about Pilates is when Joseph Pilates was coming up with his method, he pulled a lot from yoga. And he pulled a lot from a lot of different practices, but that was one of them, and including that breath work, because we do breath work in every single class that we do. So we have that mind-body connection. So that's great.
Well, good. Well, welcome to the show. And how long have you lived in Gainesville, Meg?
Ooh, well, I moved here after culinary school with my now husband in 2000. He went to UF. As soon as he was done, he got offered a job here in town, and we said, oh, yeah, we'll be here for 5 years. So 22 years later, here we still are.
Well, that's pretty exciting. Where were you born and raised?
So I was born in Long Island, New York, as was my husband. And then both of our families moved to Orlando. We went to high school there. His family also moved there at the same time. We never knew each other until we were 16. But so that's kind of been the track that we've been on, Long Island, then Orlando, and then we came to live here.
So you married your high school sweetheart?
I did. We'll be married 20 years in April, and we've been together almost 26 years.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. And you have kids here?
We have 4 kids.
Wow.
Yep.
How old? What's the age range?
So our son is 17, and then our daughters are 15, 12, and 8.
You were busy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little.
I mean, 4 kids in, 9 years? That's you know.
Yeah.
Now, my daughter had 3 kids in only 5 years because
Yeah.
she had to catch up. She didn't start making babies until she was like 31 or something like that.
Yeah, our first 3 we had in 4 years and 4 months, and then there was a 4-year gap there, and then we had our 4th.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I'm very excited. I love my grandchildren. I'm going skiing with them at the end of this week.
Nice.
And
Where are you going?
we're going to Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
That's awesome. We're actually buying a place about 30 minutes outside of Breck this week.
Out of Breckenridge?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Well,
we love it out there.
My 2 nieces live out in Breckenridge, so we go there frequently. I know it well, and
Yeah,
so
amazing.
anyhow, for those of you that know skiing, it's really fun, and all these things we do to keep healthy, like Pilates, is really a good tie-in to skiing because you're not going to be too good of a skier if you don't stay in shape.
Yeah, especially like if, things like skiing, riding horses, that requires a different type of like inner thigh strength specifically that is really hard to accomplish in other modalities in fitness, but definitely something that you'll find in Pilates.
So we're here with Meg Fanelli, who is the general manager of a very excellent Pilates. It's called Club Pilates Gainesville. Okay, so why don't you tell us a little bit about Pilates in general and Club Pilates specifically?
Yeah, so Pilates is, it's a low impact workout. One of the things about Pilates is because you start with a focus in your core, it strengthens from the inside out. So we have plenty of people that just do Pilates or they do Pilates to benefit them. Tom Brady does Pilates for an hour every day. Did you know that?
No,
He
that's
actually
amazing.
attributes the longevity of his career to Pilates because he is able to not get injured and have like pliable muscles. It's great for if you play golf, tennis, any of these things, you got to try Pilates. Anything rotational, it is excellent for, because we really, like when I say we work from the core out, you're really working from the spine out. Everything comes from that spine and taking care of that. And if you can move from your spine and you're flexible, that carries out everywhere. All of your nerves come out of your spine. So if you're nice and strong on the inside, then you can function better in the rest of your day.
So, one of the interesting things is, our law firm helps a lot of people who have been injured
Yeah.
in crashes and stuff. How does Pilates apply to people that have suffered injuries, and how you can help them recover?
Yeah, so we actually get a ton of people that are coming right out of physical therapy. That is a super common thing. I mean, we have people who are in their 80s, they've never worked out. They jump right into Pilates, they get stronger, more flexible, their balance improves. We have a lot of people that come to us already with injuries, and one of the reasons why Joseph Pilates designed things the way that he did was he had soldiers under him that he was rehabilitating from the war. And so Pilates is very restorative. I can tell you my own personal experience. I have autoimmune issues that affect my joints. I've also had 5 surgeries. One of the bigger things that I noticed was I have a very big surgical scar from a tumor that I had, and it would always herniate, or the muscle would just kind of like flip under my rib. And within doing Pilates for 3 weeks, that was happening for 13 years. It has not happened since I started Pilates. So it does, like, it almost feels like it knits you back together. If you have something broken, you have support around your issue so that your body can restore itself, because our bodies are very capable of restoring themselves. You just have to give them the support.
So now, the spine itself is a very flimsy kind of structure, right? And then around it, you have ligaments and things that strengthen it and allow you to stay upright.
Yeah.
So delving into that, tell us, what is the Pilates strengthen regarding, the spinal column and how that works?
So we have these little muscles that connect to every vertebra. Vertebra is one, vertebrae is all of them. So and then there are some that connect to every other. And so we do things like spinal articulation, roll downs, roll ups, that helps strengthen all those little itty bitty muscles, because often, like our modern life, what do? Other than nothing. We sit at a desk, we sit like this, we do forward work, which can lead to something called upper cross syndrome, or some people get thoracic outlet syndrome, like if your arms are falling asleep at night. So that all comes from the spine and moves out. And so when you work those little muscles and you can correct that posture, then your nerves function better, your surrounding muscles function better as well.
Well, we're talking with Meg Fanelli, who is the general manager of Club Pilates here in Gainesville. And I'll tell you, I'm fascinated, because as a personal injury attorney, I'm always seeking to try to get some relief for my clients and try to get some help for them to be on the road to recovery. And we're going to take a 60-second break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to really dive deep into Pilates with Meg Fanelli, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
We are here at the University of Florida, where Albert and Alberta are competing in the Gator penalty shootout. Albert is ready to stop the shot at all costs. What a disaster! Luckily, Meldon Law is the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. If you have suffered any injury, do not worry, because Meldon Law is going to help you with your recovery. Meldon Law doesn't back down until they reach their goal.
We still hear it. The sound of victory. The joy of being part of something great. And while things may not be the same right now, we haven't gone anywhere.
If you bleed orange and blue, then Meldon Law is the firm for you. Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends, and I'm here with Meg Fanelli, who is the general manager of Club Pilates here in Gainesville, Florida. And we wanted to just remind all of our listeners and viewers about the great giveaways that we have on Meldon Law Facebook page. So go there. We're giving away tickets for baseball, for the ladies softball, for the Tom Petty tribute concert in Ocala coming up in, the 19th of March. We're giving away tickets. Oh, my goodness. We got basketball tickets, everything. So whatever sports are going on with the Gators, we get to score the tickets and give them away. And we're giving them away for free. Everybody's eligible. And on some of the giveaways, we actually give away free gift cards to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where we are broadcasting now. You can see all of Steve Spurrier's helmets on the teams he either played for or coached, and it's an amazing restaurant and museum. So come out here, check it out. Meg, had you ever been out here before?
I have not.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's really, really awesome. I like it a lot.
So, and the food's farm to table here, and they don't even have a freezer except for one item, ice cream.
Oh, all right.
So,
I'm here for the ice cream.
Yeah.
We'll start with that.
But there's no frozen food out here.
That's amazing.
And it's locally sourced. So when you come out to Spurrier's, it's healthy food. Most of it's within a 40, 50-mile radius. And so they support the community, and the food is absolutely fabulous. The service is unparalleled in Gainesville. So check us out. It's Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point, Gainesville, right near I-75 and Archer Road. And come out with your friends. You'll have a blast. It's really a very amazing museum. Like I said, it's really a museum first, and the restaurant is just as outstanding. Anyhow, so I'm here with Meg Fanelli, and we're talking about Pilates. Let's talk a little bit about Club Gainesville, the Pilates club that you are general manager of. What if folks that are listening or watching want to get involved? What do they do?
So we always offer your first complimentary class. You can go on our website, which is clubpilates.com/Gainesville, and you can register for your free intro class there, or you can just give us a call, and our phone number is 352-559-3144, and we can set you up with that intro. So as well as memberships, we do offer private training as well. So we were talking before about injuries, or if you're an athlete and you want to work on something really specific, we have a private training room with a full Cadillac, spine corrector. I mean, you name it. You can get anything done in there. Our big Cadillac has a reformer in it.
Well, you have a Cadillac. You call it the Cadillac, right?
Yes, it is called the Cadillac.
And explain what the Cadillac is
Okay,
like.
so I'm gonna explain what a reformer is first, and then I'll move on to the Cadillac. So people are probably more familiar with the reformer. So you have, we call it the sled. You're laying down on that. There's a foot bar, and then your resistance is going to be with springs. So we have some very difficult springs. If you're doing core work, actually the hardest thing is to have the lightest springs, because you have to hold the weight of your own legs. We have arm straps, foot straps, and that's how we create a lot of that resistance that you need, but it's in a safe and supported way. So the Cadillac was Joseph Pilates' original invention, and what he did was he used springs from a hospital bed to help rehabilitate his soldiers that he was caring for. And so the Cadillac actually has, it's a reformer underneath if you want that, but also on top we have something like the pads that cover that entire reformer, and there's a pull-through bar, there's a trapeze apparatus. If you're an athlete, gymnast, especially dancers, it's been very popular with, and his studio in New York was actually, the majority of the people that went there were New York City Ballet dancers.
Wow. So describe some of the differences between yoga and Pilates.
Yeah, so yoga, you're using your own body weight, and there's breath work. And Joseph Pilates did include a lot of yoga into his methodology. We also include that breath work. Our movements are very intentional. They are controlled. There's no muscling through. So if you're used to powerlifting and you really want to be able to control a little bit more, that's sometimes something that you lose when you're using momentum. Pilates is great for that control, but it's more mindful. So you have to slow your mind down a little bit. Our instructors are so talented at layering cues. So if you're somebody who is like, I don't understand what that means, just wait a sec. They'll give you another one, and you'll start to figure out. It is a student-teacher relationship. So they are there to teach you, and you are there to learn. So it's not just muddling through a workout to get it done.
So you can enroll in a class or a private session.
Yes, so we have many different memberships. Just kind of depends on what your goal is, how quickly you want to get there. If you're doing other activities, like we had a lady who was running the Ironman, so she would do Pilates, and then when she was training, she would only come like twice a week as opposed to every day. So she was able to shift and alter that to her needs. She did pretty awesome. We love her. But yeah, and then if you either want to get better at your sport, overcome an injury, or maybe you don't feel comfortable doing something brand new to you, which I'll tell you almost everybody is brand new to Pilates, you can just do some private training to get you comfortable, and that way you're good to go when you get into class.
So what are some of the key motivators when somebody calls, oh, well, I've heard about Pilates, what is it that we can tell our folks who maybe aren't in perfect shape? They want to, try to get feeling better. They maybe want to, lose a little bit of weight. They want to, just feel like they're, I call it tightening up.
Yeah.
How do you get started when you're that kind of a person?
So I'll let you know, most of the people that come to us are the general population. It's people who hurt, it's people who are busy, it's people who want to lose weight. We do offer cardio classes. One of the classes that I would say 3 of our classes would definitely count as cardio classes. We have a suspend class where we use the TRX, so that's pretty intense. That was invented by a Navy SEAL, so you can guess that. And then we have a fit class, which is an interval class. Some of it is standing, some of it is on the reformer. You get your heart rate up and down. And then our cardio sculpt class is an absolute blast. We put a jump board at the end of the reformer. So think about jumping on the moon and doing a workout on the moon. It's like that. And so people who want to lose weight, maybe they want to do more of those. If you want to tighten and tone, I mean, it's the workout of celebrities. And they don't look too bad, I don't think. They're very toned, they're very tight, and it's because of that controlled movement. The eccentric portion of an exercise is the most important and does the most micro damage, which is what you want to build muscle. So, for example, when you do a bicep curl and you take it really slow on the way down, the negative is 80% of your rep. So if you're doing a lot of negative and eccentric and controlled movement, you're going to build more muscle. And people are surprised that they do actually gain a lot of muscle. The more muscle you have, the more you're going to burn through your fat. So we have people lose lots of weight. Yep, it's all about the muscle.
Well, what I'm speaking to is our regular folks, right, who aren't super athletes, and they're just going like, I just want to be able to, get myself in shape. So they can call Club Pilates in Gainesville.
Yes.
Okay, and you will be easy on them. You won't scare them.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of beginner level classes, and because we are growing pretty decently right now, we have added more, and we will continue to add more level 1 classes. So if you are brand spanking new, you're going to want to look for Flow 1, and that's going to be your basic Pilates class. So you can develop that fundamental core strength and movement patterns. And then we also have something called center and balance. And while I love to get my butt kicked, center and balance is my favorite. So it's reformer assisted stretching with that trigger point. There's elements of yoga in it as well. So those are the classes that you would want to start out with. And then you can just talk to your instructor. Hey, do you think I'm ready? And
So
bump you up.
there's a lot of strength. There's stretching.
Yeah.
There's movement, so that when you're going about your daily activities and you're doing those kinds of activities, they feel healthy and normal to you.
Yes. So, for the people that, you pick up your grocery bags going inside and you're like, or you sound like a grunting dinosaur when you're picking up your kids or grandkids. Pilates is for all of that.
Wow. Okay. Well, I've got to stay in shape, because I'm going to be in Dancing with the Stars, and one of my moves in my routine is to have a dancer jump up in the air, and I have to grab her and turn her around.
So you need to learn to actually use your core properly for that catch.
Yes.
Yes.
I have to use my core properly.
Come try a free class.
Okay. So where's your studio at?
So we are in the Hale Publix Center.
Okay.
So if you know where the Hale is, over on the southwest side of town, we are over there.
Yeah, where the Publix is.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I've been there many times. It's great, well located.
Yeah. It's a beautiful area.
A
Yeah.
lot of people can get there easily. So we really want to emphasize that one of the things we're doing at Meldon Law Friends is bringing people from the community that can help you feel better and help you wake up in the morning and, look forward to the day in a new way. That's very, very important. I try to clear my mind every morning because there are a lot of stressors in our lives. I can imagine raising 4 kids and dealing with everything else that you've got going on. You probably have a very full plate.
I do, but I have a plate filled with wonderful things.
Well, that's great.
Yes,
Do you ever have to just kind of focus your mind and say, okay, I'm going to take this, 1 hour at a time today?
Yes, especially this year. It's I feel like I actually stayed at home with my kids while they were little, and so they're very self-sufficient, and I don't worry about them too much because they're great people. I kind of feel like I worry about everybody else.
Okay, well, being the general manager of Club Pilates, you have to worry about making sure everybody else gets the benefit from the workout, right?
Yes, and it's more than the benefit of the workout, the community that we have there. We have people that are new to town. They're totally strangers. They don't have a friend in the world here, and they walk out with friends. So it is an amazing community. Everybody's very supportive of each other. We celebrate class milestones, and we always celebrate our members. We support their businesses and their charities. We always have a business and charity of the month. We feel like that connection is part of wellness. Human connection is wellness.
Well, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. I hope that our listeners and viewers check out Club Pilates Gainesville. That's the website. So just put in Club Pilates Gainesville. You will find all the information you need. And Meg would love to see you out there. They won't scare you. They won't hurt you. They will treat you with, the kindness and gentleness that each person needs. And then when you're ready to toughen up, they'll be there for you as well.
There's no plateauing at Club Pilates. Absolutely not.
So anyhow, I want to thank you very much for joining us,
Thank you for
Meg.
having me.
And this was just entertaining and delightful. We're going to take a 3-minute break on Meldon Law and Friends, and we'll be back in 3 minutes.
When you're a member of the Gator Nation, you know what it means to never back down. Meldon Law has been a proud supporter of the Gator Nation since 1971. 2 forces that won't back down. As the old saying goes, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down. The Gator Nation will be the first to tell you that in all kinds of weather, we all stick together, which is why Meldon Law is honored to be the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. We hope you never find yourself the victim of a serious accident, but if you do, our team is here for you. Gators won't back down from a fight, and neither do we.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. Look what you have done to my truck.
Excuse me, it's your fault, it's not my fault.
Yes, it is your fault.
No,
I am calling Jeffrey Meldon from Meldon Law.
So I'm gonna call Jeffrey, my husband.
Meldon Law, this is Jeffrey speaking.
Jeffrey! This crazy lady here, this crazy lady, he might...
New client?
Yes, but this one might be a little tricky. We still hear it. The sound of victory. The joy of being part of something great. And while things may not be the same right now, we haven't gone anywhere. If you bleed orange and blue, then Meldon Law is the firm for you.
We are here at the...
We still hear it. The sound of victory. The joy of being part of something great. And while things may not be the same right now, we haven't gone anywhere. If you bleed orange and blue, then Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder of Meldon Law, and we are very excited to have you visit our show, either listening or viewing. We have some great giveaways that we talked about earlier. Tickets to the Kentucky basketball coming up March 5th. That's Meldon Law Day at the O-Dome. We're giving away a T-shirt. It's a really cool shirt. It's got Gators on the front and Meldon Law on the back. And last year's shirt was a huge hit. I want to encourage everybody to get your tickets for the Kentucky game. That game sells out every year. If you can't score tickets, just go to Meldon Law Facebook page, and we are having a giveaway contest for tickets for the Kentucky basketball game March 5th. I believe it's at 2 p.m. in the afternoon on a Saturday, so everyone can make it. We're giving away tickets for baseball, softball, the Tom Petty tribute concert at the World Equestrian Center coming up March 19th. There's just a bunch of stuff going on in Gainesville. If you haven't been to the new ballpark, it's an amazing facility, and we love going to that. And then walking across the street and checking out the women's softball. Both the teams are contenders to be, in the top 5 or 10 in the country, and have won national championships in the last few years. So we're very blessed to have some great athletic teams here at the University of Florida and in North Central Florida. So come and visit us, and we'd love to give away some tickets to you. Our second guest today is Collin Austin. How you doing today, Collin?
I'm excellent, man. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Yeah. So I see you have a shirt on that says Gainesville Biz.
Yes,
What's
sir.
that
You
all
know,
about?
man, this is the hashtag that we like to use all the time. Really related to our podcast, the Whoa G&V podcast, which we're on a temporary hold. I know we can talk a little bit about that, but this was just a hashtag that we used on a lot of our content because we're all about Gainesville business, man. It's just like you. I mean, Gainesville businesses, this is the bread and butter of who we are. The backbone of this community and so much more. So I just have just such a huge appreciation for Gainesville businesses. And so hashtag GNVBIZ, everybody. Make sure you use it.
I love it. I love it.
That's right.
But more importantly, you're the founder of New Scooters for Less.
Yes, sir.
So now these are not the kind of scooters that you use with one foot and push on the other, right? These are different kind of scooters.
Not unless you're broken down somewhere, No, these are the scooters that all the college students really drive all over town just to get to and from class is the primary purpose of why we're in business for sure.
And do you sell new scooters? Do you rent new scooters? What's the nature of the business?
Yeah, so I mean, just kind of give you a quick background. I kind of stumbled into this when I was in college, my last semester, trying to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life, like a lot of college students, right? And I just remember sitting at that bus stop and having that bus drive by with those words "full bus," and I was like, you know what? This has been an issue my entire college career. Parking at the University of Florida, maybe somebody can help college students with that issue. And so we kind of jumped headfirst into something I didn't know very much about, which was scooters. And that's why we exist, is really just to help college students get to and from class without having to wait for the bus. And we sell scooters, we service scooters, like that's our primary business. But we'd also do some storage. We run like a storage hotel when all the college kids leave during the summer. Mm-hmm. So that's a little piece of it as well. But
where are y'all located?
We're pretty close to you guys. We're at 633 Northwest 13th Street. So just about 0.4 miles north of University Avenue on 13th Street. So it's
so your
close.
Business model is both selling and also either renting scooters if necessary.
So we did rentals for a little while, and it just kind of ended up being a headache. We might have to get back into it because there is a lot of demand. But for people who are looking to rent now, I kind of say, man, just go do one of those little e-scoots that you see all over town.
Right.
I kind of just refer the business to those guys and let them do the rentals.
So what kind of scooters do you carry? What brand models?
We have several. We have Wolf brand scooters. Genuine Scooters is probably one of our more popular. We have Scoot Star, Lance. I mean, there's a few different brands that we sell, and all of them come anywhere between like a 1-year warranty to a 3-year warranty. So they're really, really great products.
So for our listeners and viewers, explain the difference between a scooter and a motorbike or a motorcycle.
Yeah, so there's several differences, but the primary, like when people think of a scooter, it's usually like engine size. So it's a 40, like what we sell is primarily 49 cc, which is cubic centimeters, which is just the size of the engine. And if you get a scooter that's under 50 cc, then you don't need a motorcycle license. So that's why all the college kids can come in with the standard driver's license. They can get a scooter to get to and from class. And then if you get one that's over 50 cc's, then you need a motorcycle endorsement. And so that's kind of like the technical classification. Now for me, I know how to ride a motorcycle. I look at motorcycle as like shifting, like having the clutch and shifting. You don't have to do that on a motor scooter though. So it's all twist and go.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've used motor scooters a lot, when I go to the Bahamas or somewhere. Yeah. But the key to a motor scooter is that it goes fast enough to get you where you need to go.
Right.
It's not extremely difficult to drive. And if you want to go 70 miles an hour, go get yourself a motorcycle.
Yeah, exactly. And extremely fuel efficient too. I mean, in today's world with the gas prices on the rise, the scooters that we sell will get 80 miles to the gallon. I mean, it's
really?
crazy.
Yeah, because it's only 49 cc's, and so
they only hold about a gallon. So you fill it up and get about 80 miles to the gallon.
Well, I mean, we have a ton of motor scooters here. However, if you go to Europe, it's like 10 times as many.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the crowded European cities, it's very inefficient to have a car because you can't find a parking space. The traffic is jammed up, and a motor scooter allows you a lot more flexibility as far as getting in and out of the places you need to go to.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the coolest experiences for me was I got to go to Italy and actually tour one of the manufacturers, which was Vespa, because Vespas are made in Italy. And we were the Vespa dealer for a long time. We actually just voluntarily terminated that license recently. But one of the coolest things was being able to go and actually like see them being manufactured and watch the process. And you're right, like in Italy, especially, like they're all over the place, man. Like that is a primary source of transportation over there.
Yeah, so some of the older Italian brands, was there a Lamborghini? Was that an older brand? And a Vespa?
There's
Lamborghini, yeah, that's the car. But anyhow, I remember when I was a young man in Ohio that the first kid on our block that got to have a motor scooter was my friend Robert Bialo. He turned 14, and because there were a lot of farmers in Ohio, not where I lived, I was in Cleveland, the big city, but they passed a law because farmers couldn't get their kids to and from school easily and stuff like that all the time. So they said, well, a 14-year-old can ride a motor scooter, not a motorcycle, but a motor scooter.
Right.
And so my friend Robert was able to get this motor scooter when we were 14. We thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, and, you know, the laws vary state to state. You know, in some states you do have to have a motorcycle license to ride. In some states you can ride a scooter at 14. I mean, it's all over the place. But it is a nice economical piece of transportation, a great starter transportation for people. And I don't know, man, to be honest, like when I got into the scooter business, I wasn't passionate about scooters or anything, right? I was passionate about solving this problem at the University of Florida.
Right. I got it. So Collin wouldn't get the full bus sign.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the price range on scooters?
Out the door, like with tax tag title, everything, you're somewhere between $2,000 to like $3,500 on average.
So for on a student's budget or their parents' budget, that's a lot more affordable.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, super easy, and a lot of, you know, I feel like a lot of people just kind of plan it into the budget these days. It's almost like buying textbooks. If you're a college student, now you're like budgeting for the scooter as well before you come to school. It's amazing how many we sell before they even get here.
Can you finance a scooter purchase as well?
You can, absolutely.
Just like a car. Mm-hmm. Well, that's great. Now, what about the safety instructions? Do you have any kind of do you help people as far as figuring out how to safely ride a scooter?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime a customer buys a scooter from us, we're going to spend a minimum of 30 minutes going over all the safety features, going all over the function of the vehicle. We actually set up a one-to-one lesson with all of our customers. So it's very, very thorough. And then if you ever need additional help, additional troubleshooting instructions, like we're really big into content creation like you. And, we have a whole YouTube channel that's just filled with videos of troubleshooting help and we can show you how to basically do anything on a scooter. There's several different videos on there.
The first time I ever had a scooter was in college, and I was dating this girl, and she lent me her scooter, and I'd never gotten on one before,
Oh, no.
So I hit the throttle, and I went flying over some bushes, and I landed on it, and I said, Karen, you can have this back for now. But I didn't have anybody giving me some instructions, I thought I was a big shot. I could just get on this thing and, work it. But back then, they were a little bit more complicated, but a lot of fun. Since then, I have learned how to safely ride a scooter.
Was it fully automatic? Do you remember? Because back in the day, they used to even have some like semi-automatic where you had to like shift a little clutch.
This was a long time ago. It was probably semi-automatic.
Okay, yeah.
Because I do remember.
Those are fun, man.
I do remember having to do a few things that weren't on the menu. So anyhow, we're sitting here talking with Collin Austin, who is the owner of New Scooters for Less. And how did you come up with the name New Scooters for Less?
That's a really good question, actually. When I got into the business, I was in a partnership, and it was actually a name that my business partner had kind of created at that time. So we kind of just stuck with it, and then when he and I split, like, I got to keep the name, and he took one of the other names that we had, with another entity. But that's a much longer story. But a lot of it had to do, I mean, in terms of the thinking, a lot of it had to do with like the Google SEO. Like, what are people going to search? And we wanted, when somebody typed in new scooters, we wanted to pop up number one. So that had a lot to do with the naming there.
I like it. It's got a good Google juice to it.
It does.
Anyhow, we're going to take a 1-minute break here on Meldon Law and Friends, and we'll be back with Collin Austin from New Scooters for Less. We'll see you in 60 seconds.
We are here at the University of Florida, where Albert and Alberta are competing in the Gator penalty shootout. Albert is ready to stop the shot at all costs. What a disaster! Luckily, Meldon Law is the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. If you have suffered any injury, do not worry, because Meldon Law is going to help you with your recovery. Meldon Law doesn't back down until they reach their goal.
We still hear it. The sound of victory. The joy of being part of something great. And while things may not be the same right now, we haven't gone anywhere.
If you bleed orange and blue, then Meldon Law is the firm for you. Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder of Meldon Law, and we're very excited to have as our guest on today Collin Austin. And Collin, we're talking about your Scooters for Less business and getting scooters into the hands of students who need them badly. They're more reliable as far as getting to class on time.
For sure.
I mean, get me to the class on time. That's very important. Although it's morphing around in different ways now because of COVID. However, most classes I think are live now, and the students
thankfully.
Thankfully they need to get there. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you get the word out. Some people call it marketing, social media creation. What are some of the things that you've learned as an entrepreneur and a business owner as far as how to let people know about your business and want them to connect and go visit you?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. It all started with a lot of it started with social media, right? In the early days, and I'm talking like I did have a MySpace account and a long time ago. Everybody jokes because it was the handle was calling all the girls. Everyone who's old enough remembers MySpace, and we all thought MySpace was going to be the big Mac Daddy, and then all of a sudden Facebook jumped in. Right, so Facebook came out in February of 2004, and you had to be a college student to have access during that time. Like, it originally came out and it was for college students. Well, I was a University of Florida student at the time, so I had the ufl.edu email address, and so I was one of the first Florida Gators. The University of Florida was the 21st school to get Facebook, and so I was one of those early people to get on Facebook. And quickly, just as that grew and other social media platforms came out, I just realized that this was going to be a place, especially for college students, where they were going to spend a lot of their time. Because I just slowly saw the trend go from, when I was in school, before class started, I'd be like flipping through the Alligator classifieds. And that's what we did before class.
The Alligator, for those listening or watching, was a newspaper, and it still is, the independent Alligator newspaper. And it's still, I think it's still printed as well as, online, right?
Right. And but that's what we did. We read the classified section before class started. What do people do now? They're on their phone and they're like scrolling before class, right? So just really seeing that so much time and attention is in the device that we carry around, I just knew that, I had to spend my marketing dollars there. And, I even remember the day that Instagram allowed market like ads for the first time, like the day, like I had an ad on Instagram. And
No kidding.
We sold like 10 or 12, I don't know, it was like a really good handful of scooters from like a $200 post ad. It was just a picture. And so, once you get a taste of that, and you really just kind of force yourself to really stay in tune to where the college students are going right now. It's like TikTok.
So now TikTok is got some limitations compared to Instagram and Facebook, right?
It does and doesn't. I mean, the biggest limitations I actually feel like are on the creative side. You got to be way more creative on TikTok, whereas like with Instagram, you can take a picture and post it.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? So it's a lot different. You got to really get your creative juices flowing, especially if you're a business and you're trying to get in front of that demographic. I've really been pushing my team. Now I feel like I'm starting to age out of that. So I'm like really trying to push the youngins on my team.
Well, I mean, you want, for example, you want to geo-target any ads that you have, right? Now you
Correct,
can do that on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if TikTok is caught up with
to
that.
a degree. Yeah, it's a little bit more broad. Oh, the last time I did TikTok ads, it was a little bit more broader. You couldn't get within the very, very tight radius like you can on Facebook and Instagram. That could have changed. I haven't done TikTok like ads, in the last year or so, but yeah, it's always changing and it's always evolving, and you definitely have to stay on top of it, especially if you're trying to sell a product to a college student who went from Facebook to Instagram to Snapchat to TikTok because they didn't want their grandparents to follow them. They didn't want to be on the same platform as their parents or their grandparents, so they're always trying to avoid it, right? They're trying to stay away.
Well, that's throughout the ages. That's always been the story, right? You always want, younger people always want to do things differently than their parents did it. And I get that. Now that, grandparents dominate Facebook, it's like, okay.
I still love Facebook. I mean, from a platform standpoint, I still love it. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, but
no, I agree. I think Facebook, has done a lot to connect people around the world. There's billions of people on Facebook, and the fact that grandparents, as well as very young kids, can go on it and communicate with each other is probably its most important function.
Yeah. Well, and it's so interesting just to see how things have evolved even within the platforms, right? Like here we are streaming live, doing your awesome podcast. I was like literally, I would say this, I got like a memory on my Facebook. They like show you the memories, and the memory was from like 2016 when I did my first live stream from my dealership, walking around, introducing, the team and that kind of thing. And it's just so cool to see the evolution of the platforms and how people use the platforms to market themselves, market their business, and grow.
So in Meldon Law, one of the things we focus in on is we want to be where the eyeballs are. You want to be in front of where people are. So it doesn't matter, what the platform is. It can be TV, it can be the Alligator newspaper, it can be, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, it can, whatever it is. You want to be where when they're looking at their cell phone, right, and they're walking around and almost get run over because they're not paying attention to the fact that there's a car there. They are checking out their phone, which is now the kind of the new means of communication. You were born at a time when people didn't have cell phones walking around, right?
Yep.
And so now it's not that different. A couple hundred years ago, I think, there were newspapers. There wasn't the radio yet. There wasn't television. But people actively sought out the information from newspapers. People put, signs up on in the city square announcing what was going on.
Yep.
All this information is now more easily disseminated than it was before.
Yeah.
And so whenever I hear of a new, use of, whatever the platform is, it's just like, oh, we need to know about that, because especially with college kids, because there's nobody that's more savvy than college kids, right?
That's right. I mean, I think there's plenty of people that are more savvy than college students, but I love my college students. That's for sure.
Well, we're talking about
When it comes to adapting to technology, I guess.
I don't know the use of technology,
use of it.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, the college kids, they're communicating, frequently with, their friends, their whatever, groups they're involved in. They're checking out other people. So whether you're selling, motor scooters or legal services or pizzas or here at Steve Spurrier's, you need to be in front of the people that are consuming information.
Yeah, you definitely need to be relevant, right? And you can't have this mindset of this way that I've always done works and I'm going to stick with it, because the world just evolves way too quickly. So you just have to be, if you just have the mindset of, I need to adapt, I need to evolve as the world, as things change and grow, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think
it's just having the right mindset for sure.
Yeah, and simplifying it and figuring out, how, when we look at a billboard, it's like, well, how many people pass that billboard a day? Okay?
Right.
And is the billboard visible? And is the billboard on the left-hand side of the road or the right-hand side of the road? And are there 20 other billboards right around it, or is it the only billboard for 5 miles? And is it going to get attention because of the way it's placed? So,
yep. And then this, the thing is, none of it matters if when the business comes to you, you can't deliver on the product, the service, the customer service. That's such a vital piece. And I always tell people, for me, marketing fuels the number one type of marketing, which is word of mouth marketing, right? No matter how much money we spend on social media, ads, whatever, the top 3 for us is it's always been, 1, friend referrals. I'm selling a scooter because, I sold a scooter to one roommate, so the other 3 roommates are coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's a huge piece. Google SEO, just that organic SEO, and then the scooters themselves, having our logo on the side of them. I mean, it's huge.
Well, you bring up a very good point, Collin, because at Meldon Law, we do the same thing, and we're always training our staff with the best teachers available. We want, when a client comes in, we want them to have the best client experience possible. You want the
100%.
best customer experience possible. And you're right, when people come in, when they're referred to you, they're pre-sold. So all they're looking for is, I'm going to get something for you. Tell me what the options are. Isn't that the feeling you get?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very important that, if you're looking for a scooter, go check out New Scooters for Less. And I guess, is that the URL?
Yep, newscootersforless.com. If you want to check out our videos, like I said, the content that we create around it, it's ns4l.tv. If you just type that into your browser, it'll take you straight to our YouTube channel. But if not, they could probably go to your website and get linked up everywhere,
and then you could find it there. I figured that one out.
Central hub, right?
As a non-techie, I figured out how. Just go to the website. It'll probably direct you where you want to go, right?
Absolutely.
So, New Scooters for Less. Collin Austin, thank you very much for being.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. This is such a great setup, great studio.
Yeah,
Love it.
man, we got all of Spurrier's helmets behind us here, and it's very cool.
You guys do it up.
Anyhow, thank you very much for listening, for viewing our show, and we'll be back next week on Meldon Law and Friends.